Tuesday, Tubi Movie Night. Tuesday, Tubi Movie Night. Tuesday, Tubi Movie Night. Tuesday, Tubi Movie Night. You're gonna feel alright. That's right. The hell you is.
Woo! That was almost professional. Can you believe it?
Fancy.
Dude, Brandon Bishop can come up with some stuff, man. I do.
Yeah, I was going to do that yesterday, and I said, Brandon can do this stuff, and dude, like he was writing, he almost had it all done on the phone. But when I was talking to him, but dude, it's time for Tuesday, Tubi Movie Night. I'm Funkmaster V, and this is basically a little sewing circle, a little book club, if you will, for movies based on Tubi. And we wanted to shine the light a little bit on independent, low budget, micro budget, B movie type movies. And this was Luke's idea. Where did you come up with this idea, Luke?
Well, I mean, you also forgot to mention that we are low budget filmmakers with movies on Tubi. But basically, what came up with the reason I came up with this idea is because I was like in doing, making our own films that do eventually get to Tubi. The first time The Hike hit Tubi, I was like, I don't know what Tubi is, and so I looked at it, and so I downloaded it, watched The Hike, and then it had recommendations under it for other movies, and I was like, oh, these movies look like when we used to go into video stores. All of us are Gen X here. We used to go into video stores, independent, not Blockbuster. Fuck Blockbuster. We used to go to independent video stores, and there was these movies on the shelves that in the horror section that would just look terrible, and I rented every one of them. And I was like, there's a bunch of people out there that they dig that too, but maybe they don't want to sit through the horrible movies. Well, while doing research for our movies and getting different shots, ideas, and different things, I ended up watching about a movie on Tubi every night.
Oh my God.
And some of them were just terrible, and we'll get to those movies. And some of them were The Room, deliciously terrible, beautiful disasters. And so I was like, man, we got to talk about some of these movies, including our own, because our movies aren't cinematic masterpieces either. But I also want to shine a light.
Shut up.
I wanted to shine a light on some of these movies. I wanted to also offer advice, how you can prove, because if somebody watched our movies in order, they'd be like, oh, they suck at this, and then the next movie they're like, oh, they knew they sucked at that. You improve every time. And also, I just want to have fun with you guys because you guys are my friends.
Well, yeah, we've been wanting to do a podcast. We've done so many podcasts together over the years, and it was like, gosh, but this was a fresh idea, so I'm excited about this. And we have Danny Whitson. He's a magician. He's a comedian. He was Brother Sparks in WJHCAM. He was in the Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure. Has about 55 parts. Yeah, check that out. So we wanted you to get on this. We know you're writing a movie yourself, and I think this is almost like a crash course in maybe what to do and what not to do when you produce your own movie. Would you like to talk about your own movie you're thinking about and what you think about these types of these films that we're watching?
Well, my own movie is one I'm working on called Gig Workers, and it's going to be based around that gig workers. Some people who lose their jobs and they have to take up, the DoorDash and the delivery type lifestyle that's so popular. Going to be a comedy. Totally looking forward to that. Working on that. But I don't know. I mean, it's interesting when you watch some of these. Like watching y'all's movies, and in my mind, I have like we've talked, like the ones that I think are, I love the movies, but I think there's like a ranking, in my opinion, of, and I want to give a shout out to the last one, Camp Smokey, and some of the best scenes, filmography, I believe you guys have ever done. There seriously are moments in Camp Smokey that look like a Hollywood production film.
Well,
It's
thank
because
you.
it's because it's me.
Well, and I mean, kudos to you, brother, because you do really well in your acting. So, I mean, I don't know if you give yourself enough credit for your acting ability than what you do, you know. Well, the
I think
scene
I
you
can
coming
act.
out of the
I think I
water.
can. I think I can act. I just can't do voiceover work apparently because I
So,
hate my voiceover work.
well, but the acting is. I mean, I love the acting. You know, so I think now me, and I'm not being biased. I swear I'm not being biased. But my favorite movie still is WJHCAM.
It's a great
So,
movie.
Yeah, we got lucky, or God helped us with that one. That was that's
it was just such a great full circle story. It's just
yeah, it's good.
the
Well,
writing.
Danny, I don't think I can. I've told you this, but the first time when Vinny showed me the first cut of that movie, and it was almost the same as the final cut, but the first time I saw it, I was like, we didn't make that. We didn't do that. There's no way. There's no way we made that good of a movie. No.
Took a lot of work. We had to do a lot of different things to get that to look good, but once it started rolling, it was cool. Well, anyway, so what we're going to do, we're not going to talk about ourselves tonight, and we want this to be an every other Tuesday thing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a movie. We don't know anybody in this movie. One of our fans actually said, "Oh, Baby Cat, cool. Fawn Winters is in this," and I was like, "What? You know who this person is?" And apparently, this is a predominant person on Instagram. She has an OnlyFans page. She's covered in
cannot
tattoos.
confirm or deny that.
She's very fit. I don't know much else about her. And then I would like to give a shout out to Natalie Cotter, who was the other lead actress in this. And they both apparently, and I'm just going to say this out loud, I think they've tried to distance themselves from this film because I can't see that they have nothing on the socials about this movie, promoting this movie. Other movies and other projects. So that's interesting to me. So what I wanted to do first, so if people that are watching tonight, please participate in the chat. It helps us keep our morale up. And also, if you've not seen Baby Cat, next week we'll announce what our next movie is. You can watch it like we're all in a big book club together. And then we can all talk about the movie together, hopefully in a big group next time. But we're going to put, I'm going to pull my friends off the screen real quick, and we're going to put up the trailer for Baby Cat so you can see what we're kind of talking.
Is your life feeling blah? Stress at work, in the pits? Have you considered getting a pet cat?
Sorry, what are you doing?
Now, make sure you take good care of your feline. Let them sleep undisturbed. Find what foods they don't like. And what foods they like.
I have delivery for 2 orders of filet mignon, julienne potatoes, and heavy cream.
Enrich their lives. Play with them. Cuddle with them. Love them.
Yeah.
Are you sleeping with to be clear, the woman dressed like a cat?
Well, last night was really something, huh? Meow. You gonna be here when I get back? No. Well, if you leave, lock up, and if not, milk is in the...
Soon, you will have a happy, wonderful life with your cat.
How can one cat be taking down the criminal underworld?
Darling, darling, baby, darling, I'm coming to town for a visit.
Great!
You gotta love the music Bum, 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 bum. It's like something from the 50s.
There are some times in the movie where I was thinking that I was in the Star Wars cantina on Mos Eisley. It was just in the background. I was like, what are we listening to?
Obsidian.
I don't know.
Obsidian Contraption says, I need one of these, which I think is a female cat.
I think a baby cat.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But all right, this movie's called Baby Cat, and there is like another word for a baby cat.
Yes. It's the word kitten, and they just decided to totally eschew.
But is baby cat maybe slang for bang kitten? Because maybe.
We're trying to get too smart, I think, on this thing.
Yeah, well, based off that trailer, there's I would never watch that movie.
That trailer is totally awful.
And if there's a bad editing in it, they actually put some of the they cut out Natalie talking a little earlier. They put some of that green screen on there, and we're going to talk a lot about the green screen. And like it doesn't really. I mean, I'm going to spoil this for the whole thing. I love this movie. So okay, I'm the one that told you guys to watch this movie. I absolutely love this movie. But the reason I love it is because you watch it as a movie and you're going to be like, yeah, they could have done better. If you watch it as a film as a filmmaker and watching it being put together and some of the things they did, some of the things they did wrong, and I think a lot of the flaws add to the charm of the movie, but some of them are unforgivable. But
it's a head case, man. Danny, go ahead, brother.
Well, I was going to say, you mentioned the green screen, and when I was watching this, first of all, they're in LA. Why the hell do you want to use a green screen? You got amazing weather year round. It doesn't make sense. But here's the other thing: do you think they intentionally used a shitty green screen?
I don't think they were in LA. I don't think they were in LA.
These ladies live in LA, man.
I saw palm trees outside on the front porch.
Or were they real palm? No. All right. But before we start bagging on the green screen, I do want to say, and I think everybody will agree with me, that the two main stars of the movie, Natalie Cotter and Fawn Winters, sold it. They bought in. They were all in this movie, and they were fantastic. I would
agree.
No doubt.
They made it easy. They made it easy to watch an hour and a half long movie just by their presence and their acting. They were great. And so
you got me now though. I didn't even think of this guy. I had erased this dude from my memory, but when you talked about how good of a job they did, and they did, those two did great. I immediately got reminded of the fat lump of shit dude in the gym naked.
That's the director.
Oh my God. Sorry, dude.
That's the director.
Well, the director on IMDb is credited with guy doing yoga. Is that the guy doing yoga?
Yeah, that's the guy. And
he just sat there at one point completely naked at the gym and screamed, "Ignore me!"
Yeah, his name is Scott Hillman, and like for according to his IMDb, he's like been a gaffer and stuff. He was like a gaffer on the Amityville Meets Emmanuel movie, which. That sounds interesting, but I can't help it, and I don't want to sound like I'm bashing on this movie right off the bat because I'm going to say a lot of good things about it, but I can't help but think, just looking at that guy and kind of seeing some of the stuff, and this might just be an assumption that he might be the reason that these girls have distanced themselves from this movie.
Well, I don't want to go there, but that is. Who knows? I watched it for the second time right before the show tonight. And when I first watched it, there was a lot of things about it that was quirky and weird, and I loved it. And watching it this time, it really made me, and I don't know why I didn't think about this the first time, this is really a boner movie. It's softcore, really softcore porno. There's a lot of lesbian scenes with a girl and a baby cat. And the first time I saw it, I thought it was funny. And then I was watching it again. I was like, this is kind of, it's not gross. I mean, it's not like anything, like you'd have to pay for on a website, but it's like Skinamax stuff. It's boob stuff. And but there's a lot of it, and I was like, this is a lot more sexual than I remembered from the first time, because
But I think a lot of the sexuality is narrative. It's conducive to the narrative. It's not just
I think
sexual.
it's also a time killer.
Exactly. I think
Get to the end.
I think they used baby cat titties for a lot of filler in this.
And that's fine.
Well, and I mean, you know, to me, that to be honest with you, don't get me wrong, I love titties as much as you guys do, but that was probably my least favorite part about this movie. You know? And even, I mean, well, okay, I don't want to say least.
The bad guys sucked.
The bad guys were horrible.
Awful.
But I mean, they should be. I mean,
well, hold on. I think before we go any further, we need to kind of actually do an outline of the movie, because the trailer didn't.
No,
go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, the trailer made it look like it was a comedic love story, like a sitcom or something. Like, are you lonely? Would you like one of these half-naked women? And it's not that at all.
Which a sitcom would not have ever let that green screen get on TV. Okay, so this movie, Natalie Cotter, who is the blonde woman in the trailer, she moves to Los Angeles and moves into an apartment building, and the Fawn Winters, who plays Baby Cat, or she actually has a name, but
Lisa, I think.
Yeah, Agent Lisa or something like that.
Agent.
And but she lives around this apartment building that she moves into she lives as a cat, and everybody's kind of like just goes along with it, and then eventually Natalie and the cat fall in love with, or Natalie falls in love with the cat, and Natalie gets a job at a place, which we got to talk about that, because there was something I actually missed that I 3 times watching this movie. On my 4th time, I caught something about that movie, about her work scenes, that explained a lot of stuff. But you know, she gets a job. She gets a job in an office where nobody else but the boss and like a receptionist dude. But the boss thinks more people work there, and he keeps yelling at everybody. But and then, you know, the relationship between the two women progress. There is and then also going parallel, somebody, which they gave away in the trailer, Baby Cat is also a I wanted to say televangelist,
secret agent.
Like, no, right? she's a Punisher, Jesus,
vigilante,
Christ. A vigilante,
sort of, yeah.
Yeah, a televangelist.
She's a televangelist. It's bedtime already, huh?
She's a vigilante that's all, you know, got a secret to her. I don't know if we want to spoil the end of the movie, but because I think people should.
Spoiled it.
No, well, I mean, it's got a little bit of a twist.
The thing is, Luke, they're not watching the movie like, you know, I can't wait for the big plot twist at the end.
So we find out through the delivery man, who's my favorite character of the movie.
He's great. He's great.
He is absolutely hilarious, and his dry delivery he should have won some sort of Razzie award for that. But we find out that she went through extensive training. She's the only female graduate, and
she was given the power of the bear.
She was given the power of the bear, which she dresses as a cat, and then I don't know if we want to go any further, but there's a big drug ring and all the bad guys suck. Nobody is interesting. Nobody delivers their lines. The main bad guy is kind of a translucent shadow in a disco room. And
speaking in the worst Russian accent.
I have no idea if he's trying to be Russian or Czechoslovakian or where he's from.
Okay. I was once tasked with doing, and you've probably heard me on this commercial, of doing an Australian accent for a boner pill out of Turkey that's sold in Turkey Creek for Gainswave. It's on the radio. But when they first contacted, they used my voice for part of it. And then they use another guy's voice for other parts of it.
Well, congratulations.
But they, oh yeah, $130. And But the first time they contacted me about it to record the voiceover, they said an Aussie accent. And I thought they meant Austrian. So I recorded the whole thing like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And they wanted an Australian accent. But I would say that my Australian accent and my Aussie accent were about as close as this guy was to Russia.
Oh yeah, the bad guys are horrible.
They're not funny. They're not interesting. They use a lot of terrible stock footage to kind of move the points when the bad guys are on the screen. Like the cops, when the cops showed up, they did stock footage, 4K stock footage of like a cop's chest with the lights going on behind them. And like the rest of the movie is shot with a camera they bought in 1989, and so it didn't look good. So
well, that's what bothered me is some of those scenes, like like when they switched cameras, they use 2 different cameras, I guarantee it, and with 2 different resolutions, because some of the scenes when they film from camera 2, it would look great, the lighting would be awesome, and then they go back to camera 1, and you're like. Because somebody didn't know how to turn the lights down.
It was bad. What were you going to say, Danny?
What year was this filmed?
2023. It came out.
2023.
It came out in 23. So
one thing I noticed, I would say this is a very Gen Z movie. And when I say that, because first of all, there are people out there who think they're cats, who pretend to be cats, and identify as cats. And then, there was a lot of the, trans movement. You saw the trans flag and stuff like that.
The trans character. There's a trans character.
And this is something I wanted to. This is where in a lot of ways you could step back and say this was a giant hunk of shit. Okay, and then in other ways you could look at it and say the job, the boss, there's something magic about that. At first I was like, this is just weird. This guy's batshit, but there's something magical about that, about this guy who is out of touch. And she even thought that maybe he was crazy and that's where they keep him away from the
She said that too.
Yeah. And see, these are things like when you first watch this movie, I think it's great to go and sleep on it and come back.
Well,
now,
that's a lot for this movie. But, and I'm wondering if this is what Luke's is about to say, was the blonde nuts?
Exactly. That's some more. Well, one thing I do want to add real quick, and I got to get this out, is, there's art in this film. And the thing about and when I say art, I mean good art. And good art makes you feel things that you may not want to feel or you may have been unexpected to feel, And I don't know why, and I'm not a transphobic person at all. None of those things. But I felt very uncomfortable seeing the trans character with the shirt exposed,
always open. Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know. To me, I thought at the same time, I'm kind of like, I'm feeling uncomfortable seeing this, but also this is kind of brilliant.
That didn't bother me. I just thought, I thought that
and I'm
was
not
weird...
saying it on a bad level, but I'm just saying.
I just thought that was a bad character that wasn't funny. It was one of those characters that was trying. I hate in these kind of movies, there's always somebody like Luke and I will always talk about the stoner characters in movies. They're always terrible in these low budget movies. It's like, doop dee doop, the stoner guy's coming around. They'll start playing the stupid music, and he's like,
"Hey everybody, I've got weed."
Yeah, I thought the receptionist that was gay was not a good character. I thought the trans guy at the pool was not a good.
Max Power. Max Power.
That's right. And she kept trying to.
Look knows the names.
Raimi Butler says, I agree with Danny. I have no idea over what.
Well, I mean,
Brandon says he's going to steal that They Live mask. I got to tell you, that is awesome.
Put
and
your
then
shades on,
Raimi,
bro.
in his homework, said the movie looked and was a big pile of crap.
No, it is a pile of shit.
No, let me explain a little what. So when I say I love this movie, I love that it sucks. I love shitty movies. I mean, it said if you look back at some movies, you know, that I like cheesy, I like campy, I like B level. I love this type of movie. I'd love there be a little more horror elements instead of this is kind of more of a superhero movie, and I love that it looked like shit. And but there's a lot more to talk about, but I might be thinking a little too deep about the meaning of this movie.
I think you are, and I'm
wondering. But hold on. You didn't even hear what you didn't even hear. Let me finish the sentence of what I was thinking too deeply on, Vinny. What I think this movie was about people. They threw a lot of the wokeness stuff in there, but it wasn't like it wasn't like crammed. It wasn't like she came in as a straight female character into Los Angeles. She came from Boston to Los Angeles, a straight female character. She's the straight man navigating this psychotic world of LA where you have bosses that are yelling at people that don't exist. You have hot chicks crawling around their knees acting like cats. You have the trans neighbor walking around with his shirt open all the time. You have all this craziness going around, and I think that is the narrative of the movie, is that she finally did find happiness when she just went, I don't care that all this shit is silly. I'm going to accept it. And then she found love and happiness.
Could it be the answer to the Fox? Every time, like on Fox News, there's like they paint a picture of a liberal city. Isn't this but there's a girl outside half naked dressed as a cat. There's transgendered pool boys. I mean, and then to your point, it's like you kind of find, well, I'm in LA. It's kind of wild, and I kind of found happiness in that.
Well, you could either be, and that's what I think the thing is. You could either be, because when things go bad is when she freaks out. When she, every time she's like, I can't believe this, this woman dressed like a cat, and then she sleeps with a woman dressed like a cat, and she's like that, which was some funny tie arounds on that. There's good humor around that. Some of the best scenes.
It is a love story. It's definitely.
I can't believe we're talking this serious about Baby Cat.
To me though, and I mean, I want to go back to why so serious, titties, because the scars there, just kind of. To me, it made me, every time I saw it, poor boy, it made me feel uncomfortable. And
but
I'm not saying like.
I know I'll get blasted as woke for this, but it's normalizing it. Now, next time you see it, you're not going to. It's desensitizing. Next time you see.
Let's go through the chats. We're getting quite a few of them here.
Okay.
Ramey says, I've watched a ton of low budget films. I could not sit through this crap.
Dude, you have to.
He said he even sat through Shotgun Jones.
He even sat through Shotgun Jones. Our favorite girl, Sheena. My girlfriend in WJHCAM and the bad guy in Camp Smokey. She
gets to beat the shit out of both of us in 2 movies.
In 2 movies. She beat the hell out of. And she also interrupted your internet stream. Brandon says Sheena's a legend. She said, "Oh shucks, wouldn't a baby cat just be a kitten?" We said that already, but yes, you're a very smart person.
Has Brandon watched this?
I don't think so. He just did.
Brandon needs to watch this.
Well, he did a show at the Catgirl Manor in Colorado, and that's what he's saying there. And that was that's like a chateau where all the women dressed as cats, and there's something about that. I know I'm an old nasty man now, but it's just like, gee whiz. Now
cracking into some fetishes. That's the problem. I knew it.
I'm going to give my positives for the movie real quick because you guys are talking like this is like a Swedish.
I got notes.
Of
things that are wrong. Are we going to
talk for 3 hours about Baby Cat?
I'm fine with that.
I feel bad for Fawn Winter's knees as a pro wrestler.
I was thinking the same thing, bro.
She really committed to walking around on her damn knees and hands the whole movie, and there was no protection really for her knees. She had these like almost Han Solo boots on, but her knees were naked, and God bless her for that.
I was hoping that they were cool enough to actually have like pillows and stuff that weren't on screen, you know.
I'm going to say the delivery man was hilarious, Raimi. If you didn't see any of his stuff, his whole dry delivery, every time he was delivering like either food, a singing telegram, or he would be like, "It's a singing telegram." No.
Oh no.
I thought that was brilliant
singing.
how they did that too. By the way,
Say what?
That was good. The way that the telegram man was her communication.
Yes, I thought that was interesting.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, but then like the boss scene was interesting. And I thought Luke was going to allude to the fact that
I want to know Luke's theory on that.
The boss talking to no one and yelling at people that weren't there and putting his hands on invisible people. What did you think was again, I can't believe we're dissecting Baby Cat as a serious movie, but what did you think? Was it just a stupid gimmick, or do you think it had a meaning?
I thought it was a stupid gimmick. And you're going to say, well, that's dumb. You know, it's like, why wouldn't he get fired? But haven't I said that about The Office? You love The Office. In no universe would Ricky Gervais or Michael Scott ever work there for more than 3 days. They would be fired. So I thought they were kind of going for that thing, and but then when it turns out that he's one of the founders, and the other founders, and he's insane. So the other founders just gave him this office full of nobody, and with a bullshit part of a job, and so he could just be insane there, and they don't have to buy him out of his contract. That's brilliant.
That is brilliant. That is.
Okay, well, Raimi says, I'll try to watch it again, but my wife looked at me really funny and she just walked away. I had my wife and my kid came in watching me watch this, and they were like, you could tell they lost a microcosm.
My wife watched it with me. My wife of the year, by the way.
What did she think? What did she think, Antoinette?
At one point she said, we've seen Baby Cat's tits more than you've seen my tits.
And then you said we could remedy this.
That's how you turn it.
This brings the biggest question of all that I have, because when I was watching this, I was like, I bet that damn Luke, how the hell did that damn Luke find this? That's what I want to know.
It was recommended. It was recommended after the hike.
Your algorithm.
After you watch the hike at WJHC, it's in the recommendations.
No shit, is it?
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Now I'm terrified what's going to pop up after I've watched this.
Well, after Camp Smokey, for sure. I will also say this. This is my other big point of the movie, and then I'm good with whatever Luke and Danny have to say. But the green screen was a mystery to me, and if you guys ever watch this movie, the green screen is out of control. They open a door, and they could show anything, a hallway, but they'd insisted on a green screen that not only was moving half the time, which made it look like this was like Doctor Who, and this was like a science fiction thing. It was totally zoomed in, so when there would be people walking by that looked like giants, like their heads would be as big.
Giants exist. That's what I thought they were trying to go for. Is they were trying to tell us that there was giants in LA. They're trying to it's like a signal to the world. There's giants here. Don't come to LA.
They did green screen for a dumpster. You couldn't find a dumpster to shoot.
Dude, no, they did green screen for the weight room, where you couldn't just go to a hotel and
just go to the weight room.
But what about the first moment when you realize that first scene of the green screen, whenever she's
which is the worst scene.
And the helicopter's not even moving.
Yeah, the helicopter's not moving.
Yeah, the helicopter's not moving in the background, and she's translucent, like you can see through her a little bit. And then, like the other thing that killed me about the damn green screen, man, it's like this. Now, the blonde Natalie Cotter, who really sold out for this. She mumbled a little bit some of her lines, but she's an attractive woman, but she went all in.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, she went all in. She committed to that role.
She's a heavy set woman, though. She is
heavy
very
set
pretty.
Woman. I wouldn't go heavy
woman.
set. I wouldn't go full figured.
Yeah. However, every time they would show her working out, it would be a totally different person with gigantic muscular arms. And then they would show like her running. She's always working out. And then she would be running, and it's a lady who's like a size 6.
With long brown hair.
Yeah, and it's like that's not the girl we just sat here and fell in
Well,
love with.
So, well, here's the thing: is I put this in there because like that's the first, and I'm gonna say this about about Natalie is that's my kind of woman.
Yeah,
like all right. It said if
Luke
if,
is single now, guys. All right,
Well,
Ramey says, "Gotta go, fellas. Going to watch the Repo Girl and try to erase this movie from my mind. I need to wash my eyes out with broken glass."
You're not being fair to it. So when I say this, Natalie Cotter, I mean, I'm a good looking man. I don't know if you're a single woman, but you are my type of woman. That's you're the kind of woman, that size, the shape, the face, everything is my kind of woman. So I'm not saying anything bad. And look, I used to be real chubby, so I'm not saying anything. I think weight is fine, and you're not overweight. You look
Spit
great.
it out.
Okay,
we get it.
But
This
when
is a fucking date
but
show.
but when you introduce Baby Cat and she's sitting there talking to the redhead at the beginning, and she introduced Baby Cat, and she goes, the redhead goes, oh, the landlord or whatever it was, she goes, oh, you look like you're fit, you look like you work out. Then they pan down to Baby Cat and they run over Natalie's body, and Natalie, I do, you are awesome.
They're not protecting the talent,
but they didn't protect you on that, and that's that. But said you looked. To me, if there were, everybody goes on about Fawn, you're my girl.
See, that's probably such a LA thing to say too, because the more I even think about, and I also forgot about the landlord. I thought she was forgettable as hell.
Yeah, and she was. I didn't remember her being in the movie.
I don't remember her until you said that.
They could have combined the landlord and Max Power into one character. They didn't need to have both of them.
That's a great point for this the director. Well, and also I want to talk before we say goodnight or we get to talking about our own shit. I do want to say what did you guys think of the weird lunch date with Mom where Baby Cat walked in and like a perfect congenial human being and spoke English?
I thought it was unnecessary. I was like, I think they should have sold. She should have only. I mean, but she came in to sell that she actually loves Natalie. She would do that, go that far to, drop the mental space she was in to be. But I'm just like, I thought it was unnecessary.
God, you're really going deep. So you think it was trying to show that Baby Cat would go out of her comfort zone? It would almost be akin to dressing as a cat to impress another cat person.
Yeah.
So you're saying can talk this whole time.
Yeah. And then still after that chose to use the Telegram service, which I thought was hilarious, even though.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was willing to show how, and she even repeated that again at the end, also the same thing. Or well, there's a gun pointed at me, I'd be, yeah, of course there were, or, she talked because there was a gun involved. And I think that's also kind of like with her mom there. That's kind of the same thing. That's a gun,
danger.
It's danger, but no. And what
familiar to me. I don't know why, but the mom.
No, the mom's in that. Somebody even wrote that in one of their reviews. Is like she's a kind of a known actress.
I'm about to say I know I've seen her in something before.
Poor lady.
Probably like she was in episode 6, season 2 of Days of Our Lives or something. But I would know narratively, because I think Natalie did a good job, and you have to work with your actors. Like you're not going to cast me as somebody that's 5'4". I'm 6'8". If your actress is not a fitness model, but you love her acting, then write it different. They should have changed it. They could have dropped the whole workout. She's a gym rat thing out of the thing. But I also think like we played with in our upcoming movie on Tubi Camp Smokey, we played with solving some problems in there, like why am I, you first watch movies and you go, oh man, that guy is fat. How is he fat when he's been out in the woods for 20 years? Well, we answer that. Do you think that's why they wrote the ice cream scene in there, where she's just horking down on ice cream?
It could be too. If we're really going deep diving, she's moving to LA where everybody's skinny and beautiful, and she may
And that
feel,
is LA. Like
everybody feels the pressure to be a
LA.
10.
Yeah. Maybe she says she, but I mean, that would, she moved to LA, she started working out, she started running. That's cool. But that girl right at the beginning in the opening thing saying, you look fit. And
She
it kind of
wanted her
sets
to-
it up.
She wanted to rent the apartment. She was going to say whatever she was going to say.
Yeah.
But now we really got to go into more of the green screen.
Please.
Just the unnecessary, because I've got whole notes on, first of all, like Danny said, or you guys said, they open the door and there's the green screen. Why not just angle it so you don't have to do that? Why wouldn't you just sitcom it where the guy walks in from the door, walks in, you're behind the door, open it, not walk in. You don't have to look out the door. And I know they were probably on a sound stage or some type of sound stage, and they didn't want to film outside. We know why you don't want to film outside a lot of times, because of the noise pollution. But I think, but there was just some things like the dumpster. But now here's where I'm going to get a little more filmmaker on you, Vinny. Do you think that they did that? And because, no good director or editor in the world would look at that green screen and go, all right, yeah, let's release this, because it's that bad. Now,
Not even close.
I just have a hard time believing they did that on purpose. Because there's that one scene where the delivery guy's talking and the green screen's literally like shifting.
The camera falls
him.
over.
Yeah, the camera
There's
falls
one
over.
and it looks like the earth has ended. Like
There's
LA
another
is
one
flipping upside down.
There's another one where there's like a human hair stuck on it. And
there's
it's
one where there's like these weird white outline amoebas, like for some reason.
No, that's what it's the hair. That was the hair. Yeah, it was a hair stuck on it. But it's like, or did they WJHCAM it, where they looked at what they had through the door and what they had as the background and said, oh, it's so bad we have to green screen it. Because like at WJHC, we didn't mean to make a black and white movie. We didn't set out, and I love that we made a black and white movie, but it wasn't supposed to be a black and white movie. But Danny can confer because he filmed here, but the radio station / TV station that we filmed WJHCAM in was the most just drab place.
Zombie gray flesh color. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And you brought in all your cartoon lights to make it look like a Dick Tracy movie. The reds, the greens, it looked terrible. So even Brandon Bishop, who shout out to Brandon, who made the Tubi Tuesday movie night song and intro for us. He at least the logo. He said make it black and white like Clerks.
Well, yeah. Also, to add to that black and white real quick, the reason why that also I think you guys got lucky as hell, because it was like a puzzle piece that fit perfect, because the black and white makes sense because you're talking about a time in the past, a time ago. Yeah. And then the way you end on a colorful moment it fucking brilliant.
Yeah, way back in the old timey days of 1999.
99.
But I also want to say there was some very weird zooms for absolutely no reason.
No reason for these weird zoom shots. The lighting was and sometimes was good, most times terrible. Especially the opening scene.
Yeah. Especially the bad guy. The bad guy scene.
Yeah. The bad guy scene with the blue lights. We made that mistake too in The Hike. If you watch The Hike, you'll see for nighttime I did these blue lights. It looked terrible.
Fine.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay. It was better than theirs, I'll tell you that.
That was horrible.
I do want to also put over Fawn and Natalie they embraced and were very comfortable with the sexual. Like, they weren't afraid to go a little deeper than they normally do in these kind of movies, even though they don't go full on. But they weren't scared of doing things on the camera that most people would be, and you got to give them credit for that. Like the masturbation scene, and
once you've been pretending to be a cat, showing the makeout scenes is probably nothing to her.
Well, she's like a burlesque dancer. She's one of these people that doesn't have issues with her body, and she's very free. And also, the check had to have cleared the bank.
Of course, I was a little pissed. I mean, what kind of budget? How come she just didn't buy a bag of freaking Meow Mix? You know, why is she feeding her eggs and rice and all this, highfalutin foods?
Well, out there in California, that's in LA. That's what they do. You don't feed a cat food. You got to feed a vegan cat. You got to feed a carnivorous predator animal some vegan biscuits.
I know. I would have been more impressed, though, is all I'm saying, if Baby Cat would have, buckled down and ate some Meow Mix.
As pro wrestlers and a magician, we've all eaten dog food for some point in our show.
Absolutely.
Yep, I have. I lost a match where I had to eat dog food. Do we have any closing thoughts about Baby Cat?
I would say, people, it's not Citizen Kane. It's not a great movie, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. And I think the flaws and the terrible camera, the terrible green screen, everything, I think it adds to the charm of the movie. I do. I think
wrong with your dick.
And I would, if you're into, like I am, kind of campy, I'm into the kind of movies that I make. Very campy, low budget, fun movies. This is definitely a movie.
It's definitely a movie. This is not, and I just want to clarify, our movie is not like any of our movies are not like Baby Cat at any level.
And I would also like to say that, I think I would love for us to talk to either Natalie Cotter, Fawn Winters, or your delivery man's name is Christopher Sandberg. And Christopher Sandberg, you know what he reminded me of? For some reason, when I see him on screen with his acting and everything and just coming in and kind of knocking out the park, he reminds me of Dustin Bolt. No. That came into our, he comes into our movies and was just like, he came in as a delivery man. It was just like, and he just knocked it out of the park. Danny, same way, when you came in as the preacher, like you just annihilated your part. And, but it just, I think
stop,
that's,
Luke. You're trying to give out compliments. You're telling everybody that they remind you of
but here's the thing. Here's the thing is everybody is going to watch this. Most people are going to see this movie and go, oh, terrible. Like the Remy guy, this thing or girl, this thing sucks. I can't watch it. I can't blah, blah, blah. But if you actually give it a chance and you actually sit down and watch it, because we had people do that with The Hike with their reviews. I didn't make it 5 minutes. This movie sucks. I watched 5 minutes of it.
Put down our movies. All right, Danny.
No, I'm saying, hold on. I'm saying, well, you only watch 5 minutes of the movie. Watch the whole fucking movie before you try to say it sucks. If you don't like the first 5 minutes, you're probably watching people sniff microphone fur on TikTok. You fucking weirdos. That ASMR bullshit that you do with the pool tables.
I got to start getting into that. All right, Danny.
You're probably watching people licking combs.
Nipping my phones. Well, you know what, man? And I agree, because there's been times that I've started movies and I'm like, this is a giant hunk of shit. I want to die. But in order before I can make a real judgment on it, I do have to watch the whole movie. And so as bad as this movie is, and there's so many horrible, shitty things that your eyes have to put up with when you watch this. Like I said, there's art in this movie. There's art. How well Fawn Winters plays her part, her acting skills, and the weirdness of a human being who believes they're a cat. There's something awkward and weird. And then also I want to go back to the trans person, showing off the booby scars, normalizing that. And that was so, and I mean, if people's like, I don't want to see that, but there was something there that made me feel something. I wasn't watching something and the whole time thinking, God awful, this is horrible, which also led me to be somewhat interested into the fucking God awful storyline of this movie. So a movie, if it can make me care, it's doing something. And this hunk of shit made me care. It made me want to watch to the end.
Here's my last thought.
Hold on. I, like you said about care, we make movies. I want us to try to redeem Natalie and Fawn. I want them to come on this podcast, and we will sit down and write a movie together to get them in. I want to redeem those two. I want to make a movie with those two because I loved them so much in this movie.
All right, down boy. All right, so here we go. This is my only thought about this. I do agree with Luke and Danny. I think the highlight of this movie, if you're going to watch it, is Fawn, is Natalie. I think they really went for it. The delivery guy was funny. Almost everything else in the movie was god awful. But there was something about this movie that made this thing we're doing, Tuesday Tubi Movie Night, the reason we're doing it is because this movie is a complete puzzle. Was this for a festival that they had to do it in like 36 hours? Is that why they cut some corners? Did the guy just have no money at all?
In the last 4 months, how many times have me and you talked about this movie? How many hours have we spent talking about this movie on the phone at night?
Well, I mean, this is why we're doing this now, is because of this movie. And we're going to do a movie next week that's going to be totally disappointing, probably, because there was some sort of something tangible that was good in this movie. I can't say it's a good movie. I can't say it's even an okay movie, but there were some really good performances. There was some things that a lot of people wouldn't have done. The bad guy shit was terrible. We didn't even say at the end, Baby Cat, when she turns into super agent mode, she just walks through the bad guy warehouse and just touches everybody on the shoulder. And they
why
all
does she
oversell.
She doesn't even. She walks up to this nerdy little Asian dude and just goes, "Heh."
Yeah, and he's just like,
and
wow. And I love the fact at that point they gave no effort because they know people are going to watch it because it's a boner movie, it's a boob movie, it's a skin movie.
I don't think it is. But
it's not. That's the thing. So this thing, I don't know if we recommend it or we don't recommend it. I think Luke recommends it, but
hey, I think we got to get a scale.
I'm going to give it a C+ over a -93.
Okay, look, we got to come up with a scale. Now, the scale, we're not putting this in with studio movies. We're not saying if we give something an A, it's not as good as Citizen Kane or Braveheart. Okay, we have to have our own scale. These are B movies, so it's going to be the B-licious scale. B-licious. So it goes F to B because there's definitely not going to be any A's that we're going to watch.
Okay.
All right. Even including our stuff, we're all B-licious, baby. So this is B movie licious. I know, but no, I love our shit. We make exactly what we want to make, and maybe this guy, creepy director Scott Hillman, maybe this was the movie he wanted to make.
Poor
maybe
guy.
Maybe it's exactly what he wanted.
Of illness.
I think he was a little creepy. But anybody
who gets naked in their own movies is creepy.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh. So we're taking the A. Hey, Vinny. We're taking the A off the top of it. So this is the B-licious scale. So it's B through F. Danny, what do you give this movie?
B through F. Oh shit. You know what, dude? I've got
F stands for fuck.
Fuck. I'm gonna give it you know what, dude? I'm gonna give it a C for cats. I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm giving it a C. And the reason why I'm giving it a C is because, like I said, there are some brilliant originality concepts with this movie. Yeah, I mean, with the boss, and like I said, I like the way it made me feel something I wasn't expecting to feel. You know what I mean?
Like shrinking
a
pants.
Boner?
Well, a shrinking. Well, I mean, like I said, we get to see, there's boobies and then there's non-existing boobies. So it's, you go back and forth on it.
Brandon wanted us to rate it on 1 to 5 tubes, which is funny. I'm going to give it a D+ because I think D+ is the worst grade in the world. Because if you got an F, son, on your assignment, and they go, no, Dad, it's a D+ or what? I think it's a little positive and it's a lot negative. So that's kind of how I feel about Baby Cat.
Oh shit! There was something I wanted to bring up that I forgot.
Jesus.
Okay.
First of all, the lip sync. We brought up the lip syncing of the Russian guy at the reveal at the end, right? How he was still talking and his mouth wasn't moving.
I don't even remember that. I think I was passed out by that point.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was. He turned around, takes his shirt off, He's got a tank top on, and while he's taking his shirt off and his mouth isn't moving, the words, the overdub is still happening.
You're not supposed to catch that, Luke.
Yeah,
Shame on
maybe.
you.
But I can't remember what I wanted to say. Anyway, initially I wanted to give this movie a full straight up B. I wanted to give this a top grade because nothing has made me think. Nothing has really entered my zeitgeist like this movie. Kind of rooted around him.
Okay.
Rooted around in my brains. Like I said, I want to make a movie with Natalie and Fawn because I feel like I want to redeem them. But there's so many. The green screen brings it down to a C.
All right, 2 C's and a D plus for Tubi Tuesday movie night. Not too bad. So next week
we're not going to be as kind.
Well,
no,
in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Not next week, but in 2 weeks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Luke has picked Don't F-U-C-K in the Woods. And so if you want to watch with us and participate in this lovely chat like all these people did today, that movie is on Tubi as well. Don't F in the Woods.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what I wanted to bring up. Did you notice all the drops, the Tubi drops references in the movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of Tubi drops. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize that.
Yeah,
so,
the landlord was just trying to get on Tubi. She just kept talking about Tubi the whole time.
A lot of stuff going on. Danny, what do you got coming up in the performance world?
Performance world. I've got a show coming up at the Barrel House in Knoxville.
Oh, the Barrel House.
2 weeks. So the Barrel House, Knoxville, Tennessee. Come out and hang out and see some magic and comedy. Come see me. And then also go listen to Dirty Tricks, my comedy magic album, streaming everywhere. Listen to that, please. And
get ready for Gig Workers, which is a movie you're going to start working on next year.
Absolutely.
What you doing, Luke?
Slow season for live music, so I'll just be at Shamrock. It's in downtown Gatlinburg all weekend. We're going to start filming another movie. Camp Smokey should be available on Tubi any day now. You can see Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure, directed and wrote by Brandon Bishop, starring this guy over here, Funkmaster V. Vinny Vineyard, with a cameo by this guy right here and this guy right here, this guy right here. And also watch our movies, WJHCAM and The Hike, both on Tubi. And also a friend, kind of an acquaintance of mine that me and him and Vinny actually, or I don't know if Vinny was there, but me and, did you see Mikey? Me and a magician and a musician and a painter and this comedian named Dusty Slay pushed a guy out of the mud in guy's van out of the mud in Franklin, Tennessee, at Jason Marsden's house. So I would like to, since he's Dusty Slay, such a great guy, watch his show on Netflix. He's got a new show just dropped.
Dusty is fantastic. Love this. I want to say this real quick before Vinny pops in here. I do want to say, I feel like after watching this movie, like all three of us are part of a dark, I don't know, like
we're trauma bonded.
Maybe we're like altar boys of some sense now. You know, we've got this whole experience we can share, and maybe
we're trauma bonded. We're trauma bonded.
Therapy. Yeah. But all right, I had to get that out. But there we go, Vinny.
All right, here we go, guys. Check us out in 2 weeks. This is our stuff that we're doing. We're doing the Smoky Mountain Chronicles, which is 6 movies about the Appalachian legends and lore of the Great Smoky Mountains.
City demons are dangerous.
Have a good night.
But they're small, capricious, and fragile. They'll likely take each other out before they'll ever be a threat to us. Fickle little things that light up bright, but then burn away. The country has old demons, spirits of hate, mendacity, and vengeance that have been allowed to grow unchecked for centuries. Eons. Big motherfuckers.
What are you doing, Luke?
Did I ever mention that the word mendacity for some reason is like one of those words that like will kill a boner? It's just I don't know why. It's just like I hear the word mendacity and it always just makes you it's just man ass city. I don't know.
Man Ass City. Well, next movie is based in San Francisco. Go watch you some Baby Cat. Take care of that problem. Anybody got anything else to say? We'll say goodnight.
Is Don't Fuck in the Woods based in San Francisco?
No, I just tried it. Man Ass City. It was just a quick
okay.
lie. It was trying to be a funny joke. It probably isn't funny.
In the woods. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off here and don't fuck him up.
You're dead. Oh, I shot the wrong one.
Oh, you shot the wrong one.
You're dead. Luke, I love you. Did you have fun?
Hey, I love you too. I sure did, and I hope everybody. You said watch that movie next week. What'd you say? It's not next week. We're going to do the review. It's going to be two Tuesdays from now.
Yeah,
watch our Wrestling with Ghost episode on this channel that just dropped from Miranda Young's Scott County Jailhouse. And if you can find Miranda Young, she's the Ghost Biker on YouTube. She's got some great shows, and you can book your own investigation with her. Just check her out on YouTube or Facebook. Miranda Young, the Ghost Biker.
All right, Luke. Good idea. We had a lot of fun, man. And Fawn Winters and Natalie Cotter, if you're out there, stay away from Luke. Did you hear that?
Yeah, you bastard. And I'm saying, I'm saying, like, everybody goes gaga over Fawn on these things, but Natalie's my girl.
I know what you're doing. All right.
And hey,
love you, man.
I'm a smoker. I'm a joker. I'm a midnight toker.
All right, baby.
Peace out, y'all.
Be good.